I used a Caron Blossom cake in the color Tropical Blooms, a 4.5mm hook, tape measure, stitch markers, and scissors. The first measurement we need is the length of the top. This is how much coverage is in the back. I did just over 14 inches. To start off, we want to make a slip knot and then chain a multiple of 3 until you reach the length that you determined, and add 2 extra chains to that. To begin row 1, you're going to count 5 stitches from the hook. You're going to insert your hook into that 5th stitch. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and into that 5th one, we're going to put a double crochet. This creates our first V-stitch of the row. So next we're going to skip 1, 2 chains and double crochet into the 3rd chain. We're going to chain 1 and then insert a double crochet into that same chain to create our second V-stitch. We're going to follow this pattern all the way down the chain into that 3rd one, a double crochet, a chain 1, and another double crochet. This is what a completed row 1 should look like. We should have ended with a V-stitch. Now to begin row 2, we're going to chain 3, which is going to count as a double crochet. Turn our work, and then insert 2 double crochets into the chain 1 space from below. Because that chain 3 counts as double crochet, technically it'll be 3 double crochets in each chain 1 space. So for the next one, we're gonna 1 double crochet, second double crochet, and then the 3rd double crochet, all in the chain 1 space. This is our cluster row. So you're going to keep doing this all the way down, only in the chain 1 space. This is what the project should be looking like so far, after you've completed the cluster rows. Now, to begin row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. This row is going to be the mesh row, so we're going to insert a single crochet into the first stitch, a single crochet into the second stitch. We're going to chain 3, skip 2 stitches, so 1, 2, and then put a single crochet into that third stitch. This stitch, by the way, is going to be over the center double crochet from the cluster before. So in case you don't want to keep counting, you could just make sure that it's above that cluster. So we're going to chain 3 and then put it right above in that center double crochet. Chain 3, skip 2 stitches, insert a single crochet, which is going to be in that center. And continue this pattern, and I'll meet you when we get to the end of this row. For this final mesh stitch, we're going to chain 3 like usual. Insert a single crochet into that double crochet, and then end the row with another single crochet into the top of the chain 3. Row 4 is also going to be a mesh row, so we're going to start with a chain 1 and 1 single crochet into that first stitch. And we're going to make our mesh by chaining 3 and then inserting a single crochet around the previous chain 3. We're going to chain another 3 and then single crochet around that previous chain 3. And you're going to keep doing this until we get to the end. We're going to end off this row with a chain 3 and then single crochet into this very last stitch. The final row for this is row 5, which is just a repeat of the V-stitch. So we're going to chain 4, insert a double crochet into the chain 3 around that, and that chain 4 is going to count as 1 double crochet and 1 chain 1. That's our first V-stitch, and we're going to continue making V-stitches into each mesh. So in there we're going to put a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet all around that mesh stitch from the previous row. Now that row 5 is finished, you have all the stitches you need to continue this pattern. So row 5 is just a repeat of row 1. So to continue, we're going to go rows 2 through 5. So next would be this cluster. and then we'll do the mesh, mesh, and then V-stitch again. So again, we're going to repeat from row 2. We're going to chain 3. This is our cluster row. We're going to insert 2 double crochets into the middle of the V-stitch, and then insert 3 double crochets in that chain 1 space all the way down the row. So here we'll do 1, 2, and our 3rd double crochet to finish out this cluster. We're going to keep repeating rows 2 through 5 until you reach the length of your wingspan, so from your wrist to your other wrist. This is what your piece should be looking like, and you want to lay it right side up. To determine the right side, I like having the double crochet clusters facing outward, so you can see the double crochets. And then this is the wrong side. To begin closing up this sleeve, we're going to need our tape measure. We're also going to need 2 stitch markers. We're going to take the measurement from the inside of our wrist up our arm and leave about 3 to 4 inches from your underarm. So I ended up doing about 16 inches and then marking that spot on my piece. Once you've placed your stitch marker, you're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. I counted the rows, but it might be a little bit different for you. Just make sure it's the same measurement. Now we're going to fold our piece upward, and you want to make sure that it's going to be on the same row. So I have it on my row of clusters, and we're going to connect the stitch marker there. At this point, you want to try it on. I've made a few changes. You just want to make sure that the underarm is not too tight, or if you need to continue making your piece longer, you can continue that at this point. So I recommend leaving the yarn attached as well. Once you're happy with the fit of the top, we can start slip stitching the sleeves together. We're going to start on one end where the yarn is still attached. And insert our hook into the very edge stitch. And pull through a slip stitch. We are working inside out, so the slip stitches don't need to be perfect or very precise. Just make sure that they're connecting the same rows together. But some stitches might be harder to get into. And in that case, I just kind of wrap my hook around the entire stitch, and it turns out fine. You want to keep slip stitching in every row until you reach the stitch marker that you placed. And once you've finished that, you could chain 1, cut the yarn, and then go on to the opposite side and slip stitch on this arm to close this one up. This is what my slip stitches ended up looking like. Again, this is the inside of the top, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Again, once we've reached the end, we're going to fasten it off by chaining 1. And then grabbing our scissors and cutting the yarn. You want to leave a tail long enough to weave in, but it doesn't need to be super long. Once you finish, you could weave in your ends and then pull it right side out, so pull through each arm. And this should be the end of it if you used acrylic yarn like I did. I did end up steaming mine, which you'll see in a second, just to make it a little bit more comfortable, a little bit less stiff. But you can try it on here and kind of stretch it out if you need to.